Hello, everybody. Um, I'm gonna post this after the first Arras I put up. I wanted to show a live play with no reloads for decisive victory for Arras because I think I have a really good plan. But long story short, after trying this for hours and hours and hours and hours, I was constantly running into problems with weather, and then the AI's behavior got different, and it got really different and bizarre, and I kept trying different iterations, and I was getting better and better. I was getting closer and closer to showing a decisive with no reloads. Um, but then the AI's behavior got weird. You're going to see me do some weird things on this map that came from saving every turn and then finding out 4 or 5 turns later what the AI was doing. And I couldn't figure out what was going on because when you play this scenario so many times, I probably played the scenario like 15 times. And I had basically assumed that I understood what the AI's behavior was, and then it turns out I didn't understand it because the AI started doing super strange stuff. And it caused me to kind of have to move my units around in unexpected ways. But I think the core concept that you're going to see here that I kind of explain in the earlier videos, it's still a solid plan for how to set yourself up for a successful decisive. What I haven't been able to account for is erratic AI behavior. And also, weather, unfortunately, can be soul crushing on this scenario. And with only 19 turns, the margin of error is pretty small. And I haven't figured out a way how to deal with the weather. Um, so that was kind of annoying. There is a huge RNG factor with Guderian and weather that I, for the life of me, don't know how to fix. And maybe that's a problem Soren could answer for me. But I did get a decisive. The reason I'm showing you this replay is on my 30th or 40th attempt, whatever number I was on, I got a movement plus one hero on my 88 gun. And in all of my prior attempts, I never got a hero. And then I get a movement plus one hero on an 88 gun, and I was like, fuck it. I was actually in a reasonably good position when I got the hero. And then I discovered that the AI had done something sneaky on turn 16. So then I had to go back to turn 13 to prepare for the sneakiness. And I wanted to keep the movement plus one, because having a movement plus one hero in ultimate mode means like I'm a divine entity at this point. So let's just let it go. I think I explained fairly well my idea when I showed the marginal victory. Um, I made some adjustments when I realized that my plan with the paratroopers wasn't quite working out. So I'm only sending one paratrooper in the back, and then later, at the last minute, I send a second paratrooper. And I think that's a pretty robust plan. And I made a few adjustments. Because I'm not flying paratroopers, I have an extra paratrooper in the south to help clean up. And it does make a difference. It's extremely rare if Oladir takes damage. It's probably less than 1 out of 20. I clearly messed up the order here. You're supposed to attack with the fighter. But I found that the most consistent thing was my first 3 or 4 turns. I solved the problem of the tank in the woods very easily. Yep, Helmet Lent is a beast. I'll be honest with you guys. Thanks to Bricada showing... Nope. Why is it not... Ah! I... There we go. Thankfully, you've seen my marginal victory. I didn't really do anything different from that. It gets more crazy after turn 4. This is a good way to get rid of a fighter. There's some RNG with this fighter I don't understand, because sometimes it attacks my fighter, which is what you want it to do. I have Heinrich Barr up here, but it only happens every now and then. Come on. Why is it not... There we go. So I don't know what's going on with the fighter. It every now and then decides to attack. I can't explain it. Most of the time, the fighter up north doesn't attack. And this little trap is just a safe way to get rid of this tank. My Pioneers take damage about 50% of the time. And it's like way less than 5% you'll take 2 damage in that trap. It's very rare. So I think I'm hitting this tank to prevent it from moving. And now I'm setting I'm setting traps for planes. So I get a little extra damage in on my AA. I had to rearrange so I could get my 7-1 into the action. So, yeah, I had some really bad rolls there. But my plan... The good thing about my plan is that the middle part of the map, my plan is perfectly robust for. So it doesn't matter how good the rolls are on the middle section. Where I was running into issues was the AI was outflanking me in ways it had never shown before, and I don't know why. So that kind of ruined like 50 hours of preparation that I had been doing. And the other issue was on the marginal, my plan to sneak in the back doesn't work. I have to assault Arras on the front. So that's what I'm going to show you here. What I forgot about when I seized that objective, I forgot that the tank was still alive, so that caused an unexpected problem. I'm setting up the 88 gun to take out that tank. But I still think my plan is a good one for repeatability. I just don't know why the AI behavior changed from my prior plays. So this was an oh shit moment. I was like, wait, that's never happened before. But it was raining on turn 4, so it's pretty rare for it to be raining on turn 4. So this is really helping me. The rain is helping me now. So now I can force a surrender on that. So normally the middle is cleaned up by turn 5. I had rain on turn 4, so that was kind of a problem. But my plan is robust to that. The one thing you can say about my plan is that the middle group and the northern group are the planning for that is so strong, it doesn't matter what happens with the weather. But it does matter in the south. That's where the problems are. And then I realized I had a chance to force a surrender, so I decided to take it. And then my units kind of sucked. But I had like 5 units to attack an anti-tank, so... I was really hoping... I made a mistake here. I should never have moved the Panzerjäger up. I should have left the tank as bait, and then this plan would have worked. There are so many tanks. It's so disgusting how many tanks there are. So the difference in the decisive victory plan compared to the marginal victory plan is that I have to be very aggressive with the southern group. I'm going to assault the city in the stupidest possible way, and it was remarkably effective. And I can already allude you to the fact that my plan was to bring my pioneers, and the plan was working beautifully, but I got outflanked in the south, and so I lost control over this objective. And I realized, oh shit, this plan can't work because I have to leave infantry in the city. So, and then my infantry up north wasn't able to go south because the AI wasn't moving its units forward. So I was delayed up north from sending the paratroopers south. So I had to pull back my southern... What ended up happening is my southern paratrooper went to the middle, and then the middle paratrooper pulled out to fly to help seize the objective in the back. And my Panzer IIIs are getting beat up. Of course, it's cloudy today. So now I pull back my badly damaged Panzer. Actually, this particular run was going reasonably well. Like, rain on turn 4 isn't that bad. I kept getting bad weather in my playthroughs. It was really unpleasant. Hey. Uh, yeah, this was kind of weird. I ended up in a bad spot with killing the tanks. The funny thing, though, is it doesn't really matter because you have a lot of time to kill the first wave. Because I don't think the second wave activates till turn 14. So the so so the other thing I did is I gave regular replacements to my auxiliary units as frequently as I felt I needed to do it. Because I need those guys to take blow after blow on the second wave, which is a little more dangerous. There's this crazy general who basically just destroys your stuff. You know, the only thing that can actually take the general on is your Stuka and your 88 gun. Oh my god, this is... I don't know why Panzer Corps does this. I'd normally restart, but I'm sick of looking at this scenario. Ugh. And really, this particular section's not interesting. You've seen, you know, everyone's seen this before. And I got a defense hero on the paratrooper. That was nice. Okay, so this move by the AI is extremely strange, and I don't know why. It must be because the scout was too weak. I'm not sure why the AI went south. My panzers are so weak that they'll attack them on an open hex. So now I'm preparing to advance. Now there's a weird shuffle happening. I realized I need to send a paratrooper to the back because the northern paratrooper was delayed. For some strange reason, the AI wasn't pushing the units forward, so I couldn't proceed south. So I had to do this ad hoc rearrangement that was super annoying. Oh, that was my 88 gun getting a movement +1 hero. And that's when I said, fine, I'm going to just keep this iteration. But I didn't realize until, I think it was turn 16, that my Pioneers were actually way up here. And they snuck around and seized this objective, and I couldn't root them out. And then I was like, okay, I can't do that. So the solution to the problem is to leave the Pioneers behind. So my brilliant idea was I'm going to grind my way through Arras using anti-tank weapons to attack into the city. And you might think this is a stupid idea, but it's remarkably effective. It's all I have to say. Now, I did allow for the fact that I'm expecting something to sneak to that hex. So whichever tank gets most damage, I send it back to help guard that hex. As you can see, I gave regular replacements to the mountain units. So now I start going crazy, because forced surrenders are available. And this actually turns out to be a really nasty trap, because units keep pouring into the city, so you can force more surrenders. Please stop doing that. So I'm just mercilessly pounding. Oh man. You might think this is lame, but it worked. It worked really well. And then I offered the 7-1. You saw me move the 7-1 up. That was so that the Mark tank would move up there and hit it. And I have 3 artillery pieces on that AA gun. So what you missed there was 3 artillery pieces neutralized the tank. So the tank didn't even attack. Yep. There's another forced surrender. So I rearrange it so that my southern flank is covered by auxiliary units, so that when these heavy hitting tanks come up, they're hitting my auxiliary units. And then I send my entire Air Force south to try to pin the tanks down. Because I only have to hole out for, 3 or 4 more turns. So here comes this horrible unit. Like, it's just disgusting. What's good is the tanks all went south, so the pressure is off Arras. So turn 17, I assault Arras proper. Once again, that tank shows up to just be terrible. Now I'm offering up my 88 gun as bait. The enemy's armor is basically dealt with in the south. And then removing the anti-aircraft would be easy. Just sacrificing my units. So, let's see. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 tanks left. Oh my god. This worked though. I mean, I managed to break them pretty hard here. And then these guys, way too slow. And Ola Deer held back an entire division. So, just to review, the idea is simple. One paratrooper is supposed to fly back here, gobble this up. In theory, you should be able to get down to this airfield and then fly up and then fly down here to grab this. But sometimes you can't because the AI is slow coming out. So then I pull another paratrooper back to go do that for me. Then leave your pioneers back after seizing this, so that way they can't break through here. Leave your one of your damaged tanks back to come clean up back here, because usually a unit filters through your defenses to go back here. And I use my Air Force and my tank to finish it off. And then you could slowly push your way to this objective and build a fortification they can't break pretty easily. And this is very easy. And then the trick, after many hours of experimentation, is that you need to just push forward and give regular replacements to your auxiliary units and constantly have them in front, taking a lot of damage. And you probably want to avoid having infantry ever in this area, because these tanks will destroy them. And then you just grind your way to Arras. And you should have enough time. I showed you could do it in 18 turns, actually. So that's really nice. Alright, Calais will be next. That one's going to be hard. I'm going to have to prepare a lot. Until next time, Richard out.